Welcome back to Memorial Field here at Onalaska. The Loggers drop to the Napavine Tigers, and the Tigers look, again, exceptionally impressive early on in the season. Put up 44 last week against Adna, put up 34 on the Loggers, and come away with a 34-20 win here, Brian Watson. And before we get to that, I always forget to do this, but I need to let you know that this is the Alderson's Awards West Printwares post-game show for trophies, awards, T-shirts, and so much more. Go to aldersons.net for their full catalog. And welcome back here to Onalaska High School as we cover the post-game show. Again, it was 28-6 at halftime. Looked like just prior to halftime that Onalaska might get a little momentum back. They scored. They cut it to 21-6. Gave up a late touchdown in that first half. Kind of equal things out, but they came out good here in the third quarter. They held Napavine on their first possession. One run, and Mozingo is gone 53 yards into the end zone. The 2-point PAT was good, and that made it 28-14. And right then you go, they might be back in this thing.
Yeah, that third quarter looked a little bit more like Onalaska Logger football.
No question about it. Napavine would then punt it away and then turn it over on downs. Onalaska would get the ball back on their own 15-yard line and fumble. Napavine recovers. We didn't see who got that, but Napavine would then take the ball with 8 minutes to go in the third, I believe, or might have been the fourth quarter by then. A 17-yard touchdown pass, Demarest to Lucas Dahl. Extra point, I think, was good at that point. That was 20. That made it. No, it wasn't good. 34. That was that. They only scored once in the second. Yeah, they did. They only scored once in the second, so extra point was no good. That was in the fourth quarter. Onalaska would get the ball back with 4:12 left to go. 14-yard touchdown run after a 43-yard run by Ashton Haight. The 2-point conversion was no good. That made it 34-20, and that's how we got to the 34-20 final score. Overall, again, I think the game that Napavine got to play last week, Onalaska had to cancel theirs because of a COVID issue with, I believe, with Kayakam. I can't remember who theirs was. El Waco. They didn't get the game in, but man, early in the season, that extra game in front of you really makes a difference. As you could see in the fourth quarter, Onalaska really didn't have that game ready, conditioning there. They really slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, you're right, Paul. I mentioned earlier in the broadcast I was at that Adna Napavine game last week, and Napavine wasn't sharp. They won the game handily, but they had they had turnovers, they had penalties. The penalty bug really bit them. And Onalaska tonight, their first game, you saw that here tonight.
Turnovers and penalties, absolutely. And again, an emotional, opponent on top of it made it it's really difficult to overcome. All right, time for our MVPs. Let's start with the home team MVP. It's brought to you by Thorbeck's Wellness Centers in Chehalis, Centralia, and South Bend. Strong today, stronger tomorrow. Strongest together at Thorbeck's. And we kind of went back and forth on this. I think it's Colby Mozingo. I also liked how he played on defense. I thought he was terrific on defense. He had the big run for the touchdown to get in there. So Marshall Haight was right there with him as well, scoring late. Mozingo's touchdown, I guess, felt a little better because it felt like they were in the game. That was early in the third quarter. So
you're right.
It looked like that they could come back, and that was just a big play for them at the time. So we'll go with Mozingo as the Onalaska.
He had some hard hits, too, like you were saying.
Yeah, absolutely, MVP. Time now for our visiting team MVP from Pacific Sports Spa in Chehalis. Pacific Sports Spa can get you back in the game in a hurry and is the leader in rapid recovery and get you game ready at Pacific Sports Spa. We could go a bunch of different ways here with the Napavine Tigers, everywhere from I think Gavin Parker. I also think that Scott Burdick had a great game,
He really did.
at linebacker and offensive line. Glade Shannon, Lucas
Called his
Dahl.
name a lot.
Yep, both offense and defense. Lucas Dahl, another one.
3 touchdowns.
Three
for Lucas Dahl
touchdowns.
tonight.
But all 5 touchdowns through the air. And Ashton Demarest,
Wow.
I think, is going to be our. Sometimes you just got to pick the quarterback.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
I think tonight
5
is one of them.
touchdowns through the air for the young sophomore.
Yeah.
I think that's a job well done.
So
Mr.
we'll give the MVP to Ashton Demarest here tonight. All right. Brian, thank you so much for jumping on. Appreciate the help. And we'll see you again at, hopefully next week or the week after sometime, back on it as well. And thank you for watching. All right. That'll do it for the Awards West postgame show. And one more time, our final score, 34-20. It is Napavine over Onalaska. We'll see you next time right here on the Eli and the NFHS Sports Network. And good night.